In the shade of a tree near Custer Creek, Ben Pease unloads gear and several pieces of his artwork. On this morning, he'll paint what he calls a quick draw.
So something just real fast and loose. I mean, it's not going to be perfect right now, but if I spend maybe 20 minutes or so, it'll look pretty realistic. You know, I don't try to, focus in on the small details right away. I just kind of try to squint my eyes and see what looks correct and what doesn't look so correct. And so I'm just painting by instinct right now. And it's nothing real scientific, but it comes out looking all right, to my eye anyways. Well, I've been doing art for, let's say, almost 4 years now. And lately I've been working on chronicling the Native American, how would I say, the Native American journey, in contemporary society, in mainstream society, European society. So I've been trying to depict them in a more societal state. For example, I did a recent piece, I called it Ultimate Warriors, and I depicted four traditional, it was a traditional photograph from the 1890s maybe, and it was of four traditional Crow foot racers, and they had a breechcloth, and they were barefoot. They didn't have any moccasins on, so it must have been a shorter race. And so I've taken that image and I've appropriated it into adding Nikes on their feet, Nike running shoes. I've kind of mixed the old with the new in this one, juxtaposition.
Ben works with acrylics, oils, and charcoal on a variety of papers in addition to traditional canvases. He also does mixed media collages. All of his artwork honors his Crow and Cheyenne ancestry.
I think it brings a lot of different subtleties into my work. So say the ledger papers from 1908 and some particular event happened in 1908, and so I could contextually connect that with the art I'm doing or portraying. And then the paints, acrylics or oils, people are kind of on the fence about those, but I like to work with them in different ways, because they bring their own strengths in certain parts. And then graphites, the darks, the lights, pen, straight darks, lines, and things like that. And so I'm always trying something new. Basically, it's all experimentation, I'll be walking down the street and I'll see, like a feather, on a window, and like a stereotypical Native American man wearing a headdress, and maybe that'll inspire me to do a more socio-political piece. Or I'll see, like walking through the halls of the tribal building here in Crow Agency, I'll see one of our tribal elders, and I'll have some motivation, determination to depict that person. And or like in the mainstream news, I'll see some issues happening there, or I'll notice some issues on the reservation, and I'll go after those.
Some of Ben's most striking works are contemporary iconic images that contain Crow and Cheyenne cultural influences. John Lennon sports white weasel ermine skins, and Audrey Hepburn's black cocktail dress is adorned with traditional cowrie shells.
So John Lennon here, he's part of the series Words Are Your Weapons, as is Audrey Hepburn over here, if you got that shot. People who I've depicted in the series Words Are Your Weapons are people who were, better people than society made them out to be. A lot of people called John Lennon a rebel, but there's times where he stood up for Native Americans when nobody else would. I think one of his quotes, he was on a nightly show, and he said, and he was speaking of natives and their land and their cultures and their traditions. If you don't let them practice this, either give it to them or die, I guess, is basically what he said. When he was around, he was a good man, he stood for a lot more. So this is a mixed media piece, as you can tell. This is on canvas. Background, it's a bunch of different layering, so it's background acrylic, the actual records here, and it's from a vintage poster is the image of John Lennon here, and I think his t-shirt said New York. And I've kind of appropriated Native American regalias with the white weasel ermine skins here. Each one of these denotes a war deed in the Crow way, stealing an enemy's horse, striking an enemy to count coup, to lead a successful war party into battle and back, and to steal an enemy's weapon, I think. And also I've added the Indian Power buttons here, along with the American Indian Movement patch, just kind of immortalizing John Lennon for his deeds. Audrey Hepburn. Most people throughout time have known her for just being, a beautiful person, one of the most beautiful celebrities. Well, I know her as, being a really positive role model and figure in the humanitarian societies. She's always helped people in need. I've kind of leaned more towards my art being more educational for the people and for its viewers, fighting against stereotypical terms or racial slurs. Try to hold on to the culture also through my artwork.